Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come out. And Baylor Scheierman showed everything in his arsenal in this game. 30.7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals for Baylor Scheierman. And man, it was just so good to see him go back to his well, this isn't even really Creighton version as far as his usage rate goes for sure, but Baylor Scheierman, like if you just go back to last year's version of him, when the last game of the season was against Orlando in Orlando and they were running the zoom actions for him and stuff like that, it was the same type of game, but his game just evolved so much. And of course, we're going to start off with him drawing an offensive foul, one of the best offensive foul draws in the league, 96th percentile. On the offensive side, the most prevalent thing for Baylor Scheierman in this game was him coming off zoom actions and being able to get to his left hand and make plays for himself and others. His pace, his skill, the deceleration was huge in this game for him drawing fouls. He drew 7 fouls in this game, but again, the zoom action / Chicago actions were really good for him. So zoom action is when there's an off-ball screen for somebody to go receive a dribble handoff. So you see Jordan Walsh is going to set this pin down screen right here. Baylor Scheierman is going to sprint off to get this handoff from Luka Garza. And again, this is for himself and others. He is a tremendous passer. Again, 7 assists in this game. Him and Ron Harper Jr. did a phenomenal job of that. But here we have zoom, a pin right here. So he's coming off the zoom action. He gets to his left hand. Jordan Walsh's screen makes Desmond Bane go over. You see how much space Baylor Scheierman has from Desmond Bane. And as Jordan Walsh sets this screen, you see how far Apollo is playing off him, right? So he's packing up. He's all the way in the paint. And as Jordan Walsh sets this screen, you see how far Apollo is playing off him. So as Baylor Scheierman, he's going to come off this handoff. Then you got Wendell Carter Jr. He's going to drop down. And you got Desmond Bane chasing. Luka Garza does not roll, right? He's going to pop right here to this pin down screen right here by Jordan Walsh. And you see how far both of these guys are off of them. And Luka Garza hits his 3. All right, here we got Baylor Scheierman coming off a veer screen. A veer screen is when a big fake side they're going to set an on-ball screen and then they sprint right into an off-ball screen, which is usually a wide pin down. And the Celtics, you see Luka Garza is tugging the air right there. But so he's going to come up to Jalen Suggs, then he's going to go right past him, sprint into this wide pin down. Again, Baylor Scheierman just getting him on the move. He gets the ball right here, punctures the paint, and he's a very creative passer. He can pass from a lot of angles. Here gets Garza an open 3, just doesn't hit that one. And a lot of the offensive actions in this game, like the zoom, the flares, a lot of it was from delay action. So delay action is when you center the ball into the big and you have actions on both sides. So we got the zoom action on this side for Jordan Walsh getting the off-ball screen for somebody to come get a dribble handoff. And then we have basically the same thing happening on this side, but Luka Garza chooses to go to this side for this one. And as Jordan Walsh gets the ball, Baylor Scheierman is going to get it right here, basically at the logo, and he shows that range. All right, so this is a play that the Celtics have been using a lot for Nikola Vucevic since he's been here. This is flip flare, but they enter it in with horns out, but then it flows right into a handoff between Garza and Baylor Scheierman. He's able to get to his left hand. Again, I talk about the deceleration, drawing the fouls, gets one right there. So this is horns out. Okay. All right, so this is horns out, right? We got one person on the elbow. Max Shoga will usually be at the elbow right here. They can also be free throw line extended, but the horns out, the stack out entry, they're both the same thing. The alignment is just different. So stack out will be 2 people stacked on top of each other. Horns out would ideally be both people at the elbows, but the same action is the exact same action. Is one person setting a pin down screen for this person to outcut to either wing. So Shoga is going to set that screen for Luka Garza. He's going to come out. Then we got the flip right there, and then the flare screen by Max Shoga. So he makes sure that Luka Garza is going to be open. He gets the ball, and then again we get into that handoff with Baylor Scheierman. He gets to his left hand. Again, the pace and the skill that he has takes the 1 and the 2 step, the deceleration right there, and he gets fouled. All right, here we got Baylor Scheierman coming off the zoom action again. Again, we have an off-ball screen for somebody to go get a dribble handoff. The screen forces Franz to go over it, and now he's lagging behind Baylor Scheierman. And with Goga playing so far up and pressuring Luka Garza on his pass, it makes it harder for him to drop. He has to drop back further to get back to Baylor Scheierman. But again, the 1-2 deceleration draws another foul for him. And here's some more 3-point prowess by Baylor Scheierman. Shot 40% from 3 this year. Hopefully we can get something close to that in the playoffs when he gets time. But here, driving kick game by Delano Banton finds him. He knocks it down. All right, here we got the pop zoom again. We got the screen by Garza. He's going to pop. Then we got the zoom again. Paolo Banchero is the defender in this one. So he's going to shoot the gap right there. But then on the second one, he's going to go over. And you see how open this switch pocket is right here. So since Paolo is so behind, right, Wendell Carter Jr. has no choice. He has to come up to Baylor Scheierman. You see he's going to signal to Paolo to switch right there. But again, there's just no way Paolo can get back to this as he was going over this screen and he was chasing Baylor Scheierman. Now Wendell is telling him to switch. It's just no way that can happen. And again, great needle thread and pass right there by Scheierman. All right, Scheier's going to do a great job off the ball, running around, making him until he makes himself available for Delano Banton. He's going to do the Pinoy step right there, and he's going to slow it down to 1. Then the fake gets Wendell Carter Jr. up in the air, and then he's going to draw another foul. All right, CSL is going to go to Horns rip. Horns alignment is 2 people at or near the elbows of the free throw line. And Baylor Scheierman is going to set this rip screen as the ball is entered into Luka Garza. So the goal of this play is to get these two to switch. It's to get Jalen Suggs switched onto Delano Banton after the screen. But it's really targeting this guy right here. So what the purpose is, right, is, well, you can already see how open this switch pocket is, right? But the play is for Baylor Scheierman to set this rip screen, right? And when Jalen Suggs gets off of his body and goes to Banton, Baylor Scheierman has this under release angle on this screen. So when he sets the screen, he can just touch Carter Jr. and then go right down and slip. But as you see right here, as he does it, Jalen Suggs stays attached to him, which is a good job by him. But again, the craft, the pace, the skill by Baylor Scheierman gets the hook shot to go. All right, so here we are in the second half. Got Baylor Scheierman with some more zoom action. We got Max Shoga setting that screen, making Jalen Suggs go over top of that, so he's lagging behind. And Baylor Scheierman assesses the situation, sees how much space Wendell Carter Jr. is giving him, so he just pulls up for the little mid-range. All right, here we got a jump ball between Garza and Tristan Da Silva. Baylor Scheierman retrieves the ball, and there was, of course, a lot of zoom actions for Baylor Scheierman, but there was also a lot of great flare screens in this game. And a micro skill that I've seen from the Celtics is their passers on the flare screens do a great job of leading the guys coming off the flare right to the open area. So they're not passing to where they are, they're passing to where they need to be. And Scheierman, Ron Harper Jr. did a great job of that. You see he passes to where he needs to be, which again forces the switch right here after the screen. Well, forces 2 on the ball. Franz Wagner is going to go down and I guess check Max Shoga. I don't know. As the play goes on, Orlando is going to rotate. The ball is going to end up finding Baylor Scheierman, and we've seen Baylor Scheierman do this so many times where he's using that pump fake, taking advantage of the defender flying by and hitting the 3. All right, here we got an assist for Baylor off this blob action. You're going to see Jordan Walsh set that screen. He's going to juke Paulo, get to the basket. Great pass by Baylor. And in this third quarter, the Celtics offense was just running so perfectly, man. The process was everything. They beat the Magic 42-20 in this quarter. Here they go to Ram chest. So Ram action is an off-ball screen for somebody to go set a ball screen. So Max Shoga is going to set this screen on Jalen Suggs. And then Baylor Scheierman is going to go set this ball screen on Franz Wagner. Now, the chest is an action the Celtics have been running all season. Chest action is when somebody sets an on-ball screen. And then after they set that on-ball screen, they go out to receive a flare screen. This on-ball screen right here can either be a regular screen, it could be a ghost screen, but on-ball screener setting the screen, then receiving a flare screen after they set the on-ball screen. Now you see after the ram action, Jalen Suggs is lagging behind Baylor Scheierman, right? And he's gonna come up like he's gonna set a regular screen, then he's gonna ghost it, which of course stops the feet of Jalen Suggs because he thought an actual screen was coming. Then him being behind the flare screen amplifies that. He gets a wide open shot, he just doesn't hit it. All right, so good use of the ghost screen again by Baylor Scheierman. He's going to set the ghost screen right here on Wendell Carter Jr. You see how Jalen Suggs jumps up right there, and you see as Baylor Scheierman is going out, he thinks this is a regular screen, so he's preparing to switch, but Baylor Scheierman is up going out. So now, since he's going out and he's a little bit behind Baylor Scheierman, his momentum is taking him this way, right? So Baylor Scheierman is going to use that, and he's going to drive the opposite way right there. He's going to sweep through to avoid the backside punch there by Jalen Suggs. He's going to take his 2 steps right there, and as Tristan Da Silva, look, it's important that he decelerates and he stays on this left foot right here because it allows him an extra half a second or a second to read the defense. So as he's on his left foot, he's able to see that Tristan Da Silva is coming down. He's going to sink right there, but there's no one to feel right there on Max Shoga. So he passes out to him and hits a 3. And then we go back on the defense side of the ball. And of course, Baylor Scheierman, the improvement for Baylor Scheierman, he's improved his whole game, but the most surprising improvement is the defense, man. He has been phenomenal in defense. Here, gets a steal on Franz Wagner, gets a foul. All right, here we have another great action by the Celtics in this third quarter. This is zoom flare. This is the second time I've seen them put this type of flare on this action this season. But we're gonna have, wait, was that ram action? I don't know. But we're gonna have Shoga is gonna set this screen. Then of course we're gonna have Baylor Scheierman right here. He's gonna come out to receive this zoom action, of course, off ball screen with somebody to go receive a ball screen. But we're gonna have Anthony Black, right? So he sees how far behind Tristan Da Silva is on Baylor Scheierman. He's jetting off this handoff, and he's going to stay right here to provide some extra help. Not sure if he wanted to switch this, but at some point, he sees that Tristan da Silva is there, so he's going to have to get back. But him being right here creates a 2-on-1 situation between Ron Harper Jr. and Luka Garza versus Wendell Carter Jr. And as Anthony Black tries to get back, you see the perfectly timed flare screen right there by Luka Garza. Baylor Scheierman rockets it over to Ron Harper Jr. and he knocks it down. And when you're hot, you're hot. Baylor Scheierman had a barrage of deep threes in his third quarter. That's the first one. Again, man, it's just not much to it. They had him looking like somebody out there, but he was knocking his joint down. And this third one got me out of my seat, man. Goga Badasi switched on to him. He's going to do some moves. Goga initially does a good job, but he's going to use that shoulder and then a step back to create the necessary space. And he knocks another bomb down. All right, so he does a nice job of taking advantage of the mismatch. Again, blows right past Wendell Carter Jr. That's going to force Paolo to have his attention on him, but this forces Desmond Bane to sink down on Amari Williams, leaving John Tonje open, and a great pass by Baylor Scheierman to his former AAU teammate. He just doesn't knock it down. And what I loved about Baylor Scheierman in this game is that even with the uptick in usage, the uptick in shots, he did not go Hollywood and let that deter him from making the effort plays that he's made all year to get him in the position that he's in. Misses the shot off the flyby, but gets back. He does foul. Listen. He does foul on this play, but he haul asses after the shot and saves 2 points. All right, Sixers are going to have Baylor Scheierman coming off stagger screens. Stagger screens are 2 of the same off-ball screens with just a little bit of space in between them. So you see Tonje is going to set the first one. Delano Bance is going to set the second one. And you can see the space. So Baylor Scheierman is going to aim to come off both of these, right? They switch that. Desmond Bane gets on him. He's going to pump fake. He's going to drive, use that pivot foot right there and get it out to Tonje, and he hits this one. All right, last but not least, we're going to have some good defense from Franz Wagner. He's going to pick the pocket of Banton. But again, Baylor Scheierman not being Hollywood with the added shot attempts and the added on-ball time. Haul assing to get back on defense after turnover. And good job by Banton, man. He turned the ball over. He hustled back, forced Franz to lose the ball, which gives Baylor Scheierman time to get this chase down. But that is a video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. And I will see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.